welcome back to Backyard Anything. Now, I'd actually filmed this intro and my entire shopping trip to Home Depot, but there was too much music, it was too loud, I couldn't post it. I'd get copyright strikes, unfortunately, so we're going to be doing it here in the backyard. I'm going to walk you through everything. Just to pause here for a second, my wife pointed out to me that in this intro I never actually say what we're doing in this video. So in this video I'm showing you how to build a sugar water dispenser using a drill pump for easy distribution of sugar water without having to scoop it out or carry a bunch of jugs around with you. If you came here for a Dune Buggy video, I'm sorry, my sister is getting married this weekend, so there won't be a Dune Buggy video up this week. It'll be up next week once I have time to actually work on it again. It's too far away for me to work on it every day, so it's kind of a weekend thing, and this one's taken up. But this is what we use to feed our bees. It's a pretty simple system. Whenever you're only doing 4 or 5 hives, it's when it starts getting worth it. When you're doing more than that, it gets worth it until a certain point, and then after that a bigger setup is needed. We only have 11 hives, so the system works really well for us and might work out really well for you if you don't have just a massive amount of hives. I know a lot of people still use, at 10 or 11 hives, they still use gallon jugs, or they scoop out of 5-gallon buckets, and this should make that a lot easier. We were using the gallon jug method, now we're down to this method, which ends up using a 5-gallon bucket. I actually picked one up today from Firehouse Subs. They're food grade. Yes, they smell like pickles, but you can fix that. I just wash it out with a little bit of dish soap and wash it out a lot. Dish soap is toxic to bees, so make sure if you wash your bucket, you rinse it out really, really well. That won't get rid of the pickle smell. It'll just alleviate it a little bit and make sure your bucket isn't full of pickle kernels. Alright, for this build, it's actually really simple. I use a 50-foot hose because it's the shortest one I could find. If you could find a 25-foot one, in my opinion, that's closer to what I want it. You have to get the heavy duty. If you get a light duty or a medium duty, then it's not going to work right. If your sugar water is too hot, it will shrink your hose down, and then you'll be sucking nothingness. It'll just be fighting nothing. Next, we have a drill pump. I picked this up from Harbor Freight for like $14 after tax. You need 2 female hose connectors. You need a 3/4 inch pipe that screws into your water hose. You need 1 little coupler and a 2-foot of PVC pipe. Works really well. And I'll be linking all that in the description below, everywhere I got it. Alright, I'm not sure how the audio is going to come out, so I'm recording on my phone too, so I have a secondary audio source. Alright, we'll get started with the PVC section. It's basically the easiest part. For this, you just take your 90, put it right on top, and then on the coupling on the end, you can take a piece of 1/8 inch wire or window screening and put it over the end and then press it into place. What that does is it allows for it doesn't allow for any bees or anything to get sucked up into the pipe and into your drill pump. It holds anything larger than the 1/8 inch out, which prevents damage to this essentially. I've honestly never had a bee go into the bucket because of the way we use it, but it is a risk. There is a chance that will happen. Alright, next up we're going to cut the hose. I'm going to go with a 25-foot length on the first piece, and then you need about a 2-foot, 2-foot length on the second piece. So I'm going to get those cut, and then I'll be right back. Now, if you're curious the right tool to cut water hose, just a regular utility knife will cut right through it if it's got a good sharp blade on it. And that's the easiest way to do it. I unfortunately didn't have one, so I got a really ugly looking pocket knife cut. Yeah, not great. Alright. Next, you want to open these up. Just pop the little caps right off. Alright. So one end is going to go in the little 2-foot section you made. And all you're really going to want to do is put on your little clamp. Take this piece, shove it in. I do it I let that fall in and then push that way, and then just wiggle it and shove it into place. And then take your clamp and a flathead screwdriver, and then you just screw it into place. I'm going to do that to this end, and then the other end of the water hose that I just cut up. So I'm going to do it to this end too. Alright, now that you've ended both of them, it's actually a really simple process to put it together. Just simply screw this on, and you'll want to be able to take this off so you can add the oil to it. So you're just going to screw in this side, screw in one of those sides. I like to use the new connection I made just so that it's the same on both sides. Weird like that. You're just going to screw that into place. And then you're going to screw your water hose directly into that PVC pipe that you put together. Now, you test it out. Alright, as you can see, I got the bucket about half filled with water. I know it's kind of hard to tell depth there, but it's about half filled with water. And the way we do it is we fill up half the bucket with hot water out of the sink, which is what I actually have in here. It's as hot as the sink would get. And then we put the sugar in and mix it with basically a paint mixer, a small one that fits in the drill. That way it's not a bunch of measuring and fighting and cooking on the stove or whatever. Just dump it in, mix it up, good to go. Put your lid on, and that keeps it sealed for the most part. And I did pre-prime this. Add your oil to it. If it doesn't work right off the bat, dump some water into the end here and then hold it upright. That'll help prime it out. And then put your drill on number 2. You just point it into your feeder and she'll fill up in a matter of seconds. A few side notes. This is the first time I've ever made it without gluing the PVC together. At least at the top, the part that's out of the water, and it did seem to be taking on a lot more air, so I'll probably end up sealing that off. Yes, sometimes it does take a minute for it to fill up, and the longer the hose is, the longer it will seem like it's not doing anything while it fills the whole hose. And when you hit the very end, you can tilt the bucket and suck up the rest of the sugar water, usually up to the last like half cup or something. It gets really close to absolutely nothing in there. And then you basically just pick up the hose and it will suck the hose clean. For maintenance, wash out your bucket after every time you use it. Take it back to the house, wash it out with a water hose, and then fill it up with water. Then take your drill pump, stick it in there, and run that clean water through it to make sure no sugar builds up on the inside. Once you're finished with that, add some more oil to the drill pump before you put it away. That seems to be the best maintenance that you can do. It prevents your bucket from growing mold, it prevents your system from growing mold, and it keeps your drill pump operating flawlessly. We've never had any issues with the pump itself or with the hose. The only issue we've ever had was in one of these little connections. The first time I made it, I used a plastic one here, and the plastic degraded and completely broke out. But I've never had issues with the metal ones or any other aspect of it. It's by far the easiest way we can feed our 11 hives, which hopefully grow some more. And it might be helpful for you too if you're still lugging around a lot of gallon jugs or 5-gallon buckets and trying to scoop them out. I remember when we were scooping them, we were making a mess. It was causing robbing. It wasn't great at all. So hopefully this helps you as much as it helped us, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you like, subscribe, comment, and let me know if we need to do more videos on how we build stuff on the hive, or if you want to go out into the apiary with us. We'd love to have you, and if that's something you're interested in, let us know. And then definitely check out the Dune Buggy videos. They're my first 2 videos. They're not great, but you know, I'm learning as I go, and I'm going to keep growing the channel hopefully and continue the videos. But thank you for joining us in this one. See you in the next one.